Hello, good evening, folks. How you doing today?
Good morning. Good evening.
Okay, folks, welcome to the second session. In this session, folks, we're gonna cover the following content: types of values, evolutions of human values. That was some of the formative tasks that I explained to you in the previous session, and the person, historicity, and transcendence. Our objectives for these sessions, folks, are defines the concept of values and its types using clear examples, analyzes the human person as moral subject, and applies ethical concepts to concrete situations, okay? As usually, folks, I like to start with some speaking questions. I'm gonna show you the whole questions and you can prepare your answer and then just raise your hand to participate, okay? So we got 10 questions here, folks. Let's see the first one. What does it mean to say that a human being is a moral subject? What do you think about that, folks? Okay, Genesis, Solis, go ahead.
Okay, teacher, good evening. And for me, the human being, for me, a moral subject is a person that is able to distinguish the right from the wrong, and that is responsible for his or her actions.
Yes, that's pretty good. Okay. Key important words you mentioned. Okay, very good. Let's see the question number two. How do personal experiences influence moral decision making? What do you think, folks? Yes, Fernando, go ahead. Then Archimedes.
Well, 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 in my opinion, is personal experiences or value and belief so past situation help us decide what we consider right or wrong in the new situation.
Okay, very good, Fernando's. Okay, very good.
Thank you, teacher.
Archimedes. I saw you raised your hand. Are you here? Okay, let's move on to question number three. In what ways does society shape our sense of right and wrong, folks? Jocelyn, go ahead.
Uh, Society teaches values through family, school, culture, religion, laws. This influence help us learn what behavior is acceptable and what is not.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Do we have another volunteer for the same question? Okay, we're gonna move on, folks, to the question number five. Okay, I know that the question number four we're not going to in, include here because of the time. Okay, what is the difference between moral values and social values? Do you think that we have any differences about them?
Hello, good evening, teacher.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, this is the question
Five.
five. What is the difference between moral values and social values? Well, the moral is when you have an influence of the your way of your thinking, or depend on the religion or the
Right.
oral aspect in your life, the moral. and the social values is the values of the society of the das values is the construction of the society. So, in my
The
opinion, that's the
norms, right?
difference.
The norms, the
Yeah,
laws, etc., right?
exactly the norms.
Okay, very good. Let's see the question number 6. Which types of values guide human behavior the most?
Those would be moral values.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep, that's correct because they are specific. They happen in a specific context, such as family. So they
Mm-hmm.
shape our specific individual morals.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. Let's move on to question number 8, folks. Do you think modern societies prioritize the same values as past societies? Or do you think that there are some values that are missing
Mm.
nowadays? The families, the society?
Okay, teacher.
Janine, please.
And Archimedes.
Okay.
Archimedes. Yes. In my opinion, this is a question number A.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the modern society no prioritize the same value of the past society because the time change.
Yeah.
For example, in the past, the people don't have they have a human rights now. It's important the human rights. Also, the other important topic in the society is the aborto. I don't remember how do you say this in English.
Abortion.
And abortion, and for example, the equality, the the diversity sexual. So this is a different topic, and in my opinion, for this reason, the modern society not prioritize the same value of the past society.
Okay. Thank you very much, Archimedes. Do we have another person to the same question? Gerardo, go ahead.
Yep. So, as a partner mentioned, um, I believe there are some values we no longer have. There are also values that we have gained throughout the
Yeah.
time. For example, in the past, women were not able to vote. Women practically didn't have rights in
Mm-hmm.
comparison um, to the times we're living right now. And there are some situations where we have went back. For example, there are countries um, like the Arabian countries that have gone back in regards
Mm-hmm.
to the human rights and rights for women as well. For example, they are no longer able to vote. They are no longer able to um, get this special education, major
Mm-hmm.
education.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can either be values have improved and have get got worse. It depends on the situation and place in the world.
Yeah, yeah. Remember that they have evolved, right? Good.
Mhm.
Let's see the last question, folks. Can a person transcend the values imposed by society? How?
Yes. Yes, teacher. Hi, Marcos Montoya.
Okay.
I think that a person can transcend the values imposed by society. This can happen through like personal experience, education, and also if this person read like philosophy. For example, a person that is a Muslim religion can change maybe to a Catholic after they research about this religion and now they realize that they prefer this new one. Like this is like, for example, and can change it like with the values.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Do we have the last volunteer for the same question? Number 10.
Me, teacher
Okay, go ahead.
Fernanda. Yes, I think that a person can transcend the values imposed by society because by thinking critically and reflecting on their own belief, education, personal experience, or an exposure to different cultures can help individuals question questions
Mm-hmm.
social norms and choose values that uh, with their personal principles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, folks. Let's move on with some of the values, folks, that we got here. I'm not saying that they are just this one. We got a lot of values, right? But I'm gonna explain just this one, right? So the one of the types of values that we got, folks, are the right conduct, right? And remember that they are values related to ethical and responsible behavior in the society, right? And sometimes they include some aspects like honesty, integrity, etc., right? Another types of values that we got here is love. Remember that love, folks, it's related to empathy, compassion, care, okay, or when you appreciate for another person, others, and most of the time this includes love for family, right? Some examples for this value, we have helping a friend in need, showing gratitude to parents, okay, or practicing empathy for someone suffering. That I'm pretty sure, folks, that all of these examples, probably most of you have practiced, right? Now, I ask you, have you ever helped a friend in need? Have you ever showed gratitude to your parents? Have you ever practiced empathy, empathy for someone suffering? Probably the answer for most of you is yes, right? Then we got folks peace. As you know, folks, that peace promotes harmony, peaceful conflict resolution. Okay. Some of the example that we got is the resolving conflict through dialogue. Okay. Another types of value that we got here, the trust. This is related, folks, to loyalty, reliability, right? And some of the example that we got is where, for example, when you keep a friend's secrets, right? So it's because that person, your friend or your best friend, trusting you, right? So and you must keep it that such secret, right? And the other one, folks, is the non-violence. Remember that those values promote conflict resolution, okay, without physical or verbal violence, okay. Some of the example we can say that, for example, when you use respectful words in disagreements, okay, or when you avoid aggression toward others, okay. We get a lot of types of values, folks. Here just mention this, but remember that we got some moral values, for example, justice, honesty, responsibility, etc. We also have social values like solidarity, respect, and cooperation. Ok, chicos, disculpen, lo voy a decir en español esto. Cuando comparto, le doy compartir sonido y pantalla. Y no sé quién está tocando ahí, agarrando el control, ¿verdad? Control remoto y está rayando ahí y pues eso se ve un poquito feo, por decirlo así, ¿verdad? En la presentación porque siempre nos va a salir así. Para que tengamos cuidado con eso, ¿ok? Okay, folks, let's move on to here to some words. Yes, Ricardo, go ahead.
Creo que se puede borrar, sí, profe, déjeme intentarlo.
Sí, yo estuve buscando acá, pero no me da la opción.
Eh, Creo que lo hizo usted porque a mí no me deja y hay una parte de un lápiz a su izquierda, arriba del micrófono. Ahí
Sí,
puede darle y ahí tiene varias opciones.
okay, thank you.
Ok.
Thanks. Okay, let's continue, folks. As I said before, right? So, remember that in the previous session, we were talking about the definitions, right? About ethic and moral paradigms. And we said that when we talk about ethics, we refers to the branch of philosophy, right? Dealing with what is considered right or wrong behavior, right? And the moral paradigms, folks, they are frameworks or models that shape how individuals or society understand and apply ethical principles. Some of the how many of you remember some of the paradigms that I mentioned in the previous session? I mentioned the ontology, the utilitarianisms. Okay, let me refresh, folks. Remember that the ontology emphasizes duties and rules, okay? How so? So they are the actions that are right or wrong based on rules, okay? The actions that we made, and the utilitarianisms is focuses on outcomes, okay? So the human person as a moral subject, folks, remember that this refers to recognizing individuals as agents, okay, who are enabled to of making moral decisions, okay? Then we got the transcendence, folks. The transcendence refers to, I mean, is the human capacity, okay? Is the human capacity to go beyond immediate circumstances or situations. And this one allowed to the individual to reflect critically on moral norms and act responsibly and freely, okay? And about the historicity, folks, this refers to the idea that humans are shaped by their historical context, okay? For example, uh, I don't know if you have seen, folks, some of the teachers that they adapt methods based on past educational reforms and cultural shifts, right? And for example, I have seen many teachers that they don't want to change the traditional methods that they use and they continue teaching using the same one. Remember that nowadays some methods and approaches has been adapted and we can change that, okay? Now let's move on to this one, folks. Here, we got some questions, folks, that I would like to, for example, the question number one and number two are for men, okay? And the question number four and five are for women. And the question number three is for both, okay? So please take note. We're gonna see a 2 minute video explaining about the human person as a moral being, talks about historicity, transcendence, and the evolutions of values. And after the video, we're gonna we're gonna discuss that. Okay, the video is gonna be played twice. Okay.
Hello. Y entonces, no lo puse.
The human person is essentially a moral being, capable of ethical reflection and responsible action. Ethics studies this moral dimension by examining how individuals make decisions based on values and principles. Understanding the human person as a moral subject requires recognizing both historicity and transcendence as fundamental dimensions of human existence. Historicity refers to the historical and cultural conditions that shape human identity and moral awareness. Every individual is born into a specific social context that influences beliefs, values, and moral norms. Throughout the history, human values have evolved in response to social, political, and cultural transformations. For example, values such as equality, human rights, and freedom have gained prominence in modern societies as a result of historical struggles and ethical reflection. However, the human person is not entirely determined by history. Trascendence allows individuals to critically evaluate inherited values and moral norms. Through reflection and conscience, human beings can go beyond social conditioning and choose actions aligned with universal ethics principles such as justice, dignity, and responsibility. The interaction between historicity and trascendence explains moral development. While historicity provides the context in which moral values emerge, trascendence enables ethical growth and transformation. Moral maturity is achieved when individuals recognize their historical influences but consciously commit to higher moral ideas. In conclusion, ethics must understand the human person as both historically situated and transcendent. Only through this dynamic relationship can moral responsibility, ethical freedom, and the evolution of human values be fully explained.
Did you hear the video, folks? Was it clear, the audio?
Yes.
Yep, it was.
Okay, we're gonna play it again, okay?
The human person is essentially a moral being, capable of ethical reflection and responsible action. Ethics studies this moral dimension by examining how individuals make decisions based on values and principles. Understanding the human person as a moral subject requires recognizing both historicity and transcendence as fundamental dimensions of human existence. Historicity refers to the historical and cultural conditions that shape human identity and moral awareness. Every individual is born into a specific social context that influences beliefs, values, and moral norms. Throughout the history, human values have evolved in response to social, political, and cultural transformations. For example, values such as equality, human rights, and freedom have gained prominence in modern societies as a result of historical struggles and ethical reflection. However, the human person is not entirely determined by history. Trascendence allows individuals to critically evaluate inherited values and moral norms. Through reflection and conscience, human beings can go beyond social conditioning and choose actions aligned with universal ethics principles such as justice, dignity, and responsibility. The interaction between historicity and trascendence explains moral development. While historicity provides the context in which moral values emerge, trascendence enables ethical growth and transformation. Moral maturity is achieved when individuals recognize their historical influences but consciously commit to higher moral ideas. In conclusion, ethics must understand the human person as both historically situated and transcendent. Only through this dynamic relationship can moral responsibility, ethical freedom, and the evolution of human values be fully explained.
Okay, folks, now we're going to get back to the questions, okay? Okay, let's check the first question for men. How does the video define the human person as a model being, folks? Yes, Archimedes, go ahead.
Okay, well, in my opinion, the text define the human person as a moral being because the construction of that the human person moral is the social context because when you born the society define uh,
Mhm.
your human person because you have this influence and the religion, the political, and all this context, historical context, your moral being.
Okay, thank you, Archimedes. Jose Miranda, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So the video defines us through two fundamental dimensions, right? We have historicity and we have transcendence. And what it says essentially is that our cultural context is the fundamental essence of our morals, but then we have a personal experience who allows us to transcend these moral values into a more evolved version of the moral values. So essentially, ethics has to understand what is our cultural context, and then it has to understand how our personal experience allows us to evolve our values. So essentially, those are the two dimensions that will allow ethics to define us as moral beings.
Yeah, also the video, folks, was mentioned in some of the key phrases and or keywords, right? Like the individual capacity for ethical reflection, right? Moral reasoning and some responsible actions. Okay, good. Let's see the question number two. What role does historicity play in the formation of moral values? Noel, go ahead.
Uh, yeah, so just wanted to add that is it plays like a important role, or let's say a central role,
Mm-hmm.
in the formation of moral values because it shapes what societies consider right or wrong.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Now let's see the women. Women, what about the question number four? How does transcendence allow individuals to challenge social norms?
Me, teacher.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Trascendence allows moral autonomy
Mm-hmm.
and instead to blindly following rules where individuals evaluate whether those rules align with ethical principles.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. What about the question number five, women? Why is the interaction between historicity and transcendence essential for moral development? Go ahead, Jocelyn.
So is question number 5, right?
Yeah.
Why is interaction between historicity and transcendence essential for more development? Sorry. Historicity gives us the values and norms we learn from society, while transcendence allows us to evaluate and improve those values. Together, they help moral development because we both receive values from our culture and have the freedom to transform them for a better future.
Yeah, yeah. Something important, folks, regarding to this question, remember that historicity provides the context, right? In which moral values are formed, and transcendence allows to the individuals to reflect on, to transform, okay? Now, let's see the question number 3. I need 2 volunteers, 1 man and 1 woman. Why are human values considered dynamic and evolving? Fernando, go ahead.
Okay, in my opinion, is human values are dynamic because they change according to cultural, social, and historical context as societies develop and
Mm-hmm.
face new challenge.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Another volunteer for the same question. Noel, go ahead.
Principle, the humans' value are considered dynamic and evolving because they aren't fixed or universal. They change as people society change.
Yeah, the universal ethic principles, right? Okay, very good. Um, 1 woman, 1 girl for the same question.
Me, teacher.
Okay, go ahead. Your name, please.
Uh, I think human values are dynamic and evolving because they adapt to new experience, societal change, and cultural shifts. And I think this evolution reflects the ongoing dialogue between individuals and their environments, allowing for the reevaluation and transformation of values over time.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Let's move on to next slide here, folks. As you can appreciate, we got 3 scenarios. The first one is about cultural tradition versus moral reflection, and it says, a student follows a cultural tradition that discriminates against a certain social group. Over time, the student begins to question whether this tradition is morally acceptable. We got another one, social pressure and moral choice. An employee is encouraged by coworkers to participate in dishonest practices to gain economic benefits. And the third scenario is evolution of human values. A community once accepted child labor as normal, but today considers is unethical and illegal. So these 3 scenarios, folks, on the platform, we got some questions regarding to each scenarios. Please try to analyze all of them and try to answer the questions, okay? So that's gonna be all for this session, folks. And also on the platform, folks, you will find the task, okay? Please do it on time because remember that we got deadline for each. If no question, folks, that's all, okay? We're gonna end here.
Question, teacher. What is the turn off of the assignment?
The what? I didn't hear you.
Okay, the time for send the assignment.
So you got the deadline there. I think is on Saturday till Friday or on Saturday. Okay. After the meeting, I'm gonna check. Okay, because I don't remember the exactly date. I'm gonna check and I'm gonna send to you the on the WhatsApp group, okay? But you can see it on platform. Yeah, go ahead, Jose
Yeah,
Miranda.
yeah, teacher, question on attendance. So are you still taking into account the attendance,
Yeah,
or
of
is it
course. Yeah, of
so
course.
we really have to we are forced to come on Sundays at this time specifically for
Yeah,
attendance
yeah,
purposes?
no, I take the attendance here by meeting. So I'm
Okay.
seeing here that we got 33 participants. I take the note, the names. Don't worry
Mhm.
for that, okay?
Okay. Okay.
And
Thanks.
even the participations as well. Because remember that we got some points for participating, right?
Hmm.
That just the minority is participating.